In this video, guys, we will be sharing a key update on the future of Soloman. We'll also be looking at the future of Mateo Joseph and where that could potentially lie. Will it be at Leeds or will it be elsewhere? And a striker from a top 6 Premier League club could be heading to Leeds United. Let's get into it. So then everybody, it is Charlie. Welcome back to the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. It's time for another news update. Hope you're all doing well on this fine Monday evening, and hope you're all having a great start to the week. I miss the football, don't you? I'm really missing it at the minute. It's like a fix that I just need in my life. I miss the pre-game dread. I miss the anxiety around supporting Leeds United. But at the same time, it is a nice break. And obviously, you know, we have got the playoff final at the weekend, which should be a very interesting game, to say the least. But again, we're not here to talk about the playoffs. It's beneath us. We're here to get into some transfer gossip concerning Leeds United. Now, one of the main things that people are talking about at the minute is, of course, the future of Soloman. Now, bit complex, obviously. At first, we were thinking that he would maybe favour a move to Leeds United. Then it was reported that Marseille had entered the mix to get him as well, and that Roberto De Zerbi, the former Brighton manager, who is now obviously the head coach at Marseille, was very keen and gave that move the green light. But now it looks like Soloman, according to his agent, is not going to be moving to France and favours a move to the Premier League. And that is due to political reasons in him going to France. Now, we all know the Soloman chant that got banned from Ellen Road. Maybe the contents of that chant have got something to do with the fact that he wouldn't want to go to France. Now, he favours a Premier League club. He's just been on loan at Leeds United, where he's ripped it up in the Championship as far as I'm concerned. I think he's been an excellent player for Leeds overall this season, just gone. Tottenham are obviously wanting to sell him on, or at least, you know, that he's not part of their plans, clearly. And, you know, apparently, you know, all the cards are on the table and, you know, the ball is in Tottenham's court on this one, and you know, and it's up to Daniel Levy as to how he chooses to handle this situation. I saw a fee not long ago. Apparently, they'd be happy with 16 million. That's probably the max I would pay for Soloman. I wouldn't be going any higher than that. Just given his previous injury record, although at Leeds it was okay. Had one period out of the team a few games into his Leeds career. But once he came back and he was 100% match fit, I thought he was sharp and he definitely didn't look out of place or unfit or anything like that. So it wouldn't be that much of a concern for me if we were to bring him in. Like I said, he favours a move to the Premier League. He's just helped Leeds United get promoted and win the title. So I think it would be a massive benefit for him to, you know, just have that continuity. I've said it on previous videos, and I do think it is a factor in where he goes. You know, we know Farke's going to be the manager of Leeds. He'll know the system. Yes, he'll probably have to adapt it in the Premier League, and I hope he adapts it in the Premier League. But Soloman knows how Farke works. He knows how he would want him to play, and I think he could be a very key part of, hopefully, Leeds United staying in the Premier League next season. So, yeah, for me, do the right thing, Mano, and just come back to Ellen Road where you belong, son, and that would make us all very, very happy. Moving on to Mateo Joseph. God, I've just got Soloman on the brain at the minute. But yes, Mateo Joseph. I did mention on a video previously, just had a bit of a general, just shared my general thoughts really on where I think his future may lie. And I was saying that he may benefit from a loan, maybe in the Championship or overseas. But apparently Real Betis are going to be opening talks with Leeds United over the future of Mateo Joseph once their La Liga season has finished. It's unknown at the minute whether that would be to bring him in on loan or as a permanent signing. I'll be honest, he has got potential, and there's definitely a player in there, but he didn't rip it up in the Championship like we all thought he would. I'll be honest, if it was a permanent transfer, I wouldn't be too upset about it. I really wouldn't. And if it was for him to, go back to Spain and have a career in La Liga, fair play to him. If it's a loan, then fair play to him as well. Maybe he wants to come back to Leeds United and prove himself. But like I said on a previous video, guys, I am strong of the opinion that Mateo Joseph is not ready for the Premier League. And I do feel that whether it's at Betis or a Championship club or any other club in Europe, he will definitely benefit from a loan where he will be playing week in, week out. He can score bags of goals, just gain his confidence, ready to then potentially come back to Ellen Road and, help us in the Premier League. But I just think right now, I just don't think it's the right fit for him to be in the Prem right now. After a season where we all thought he was going to break through, and he didn't really. He scored 4 goals in 46 games. It's not a lot. It's really not good enough. And again, it was his first season of starting games at senior level, I guess. And maybe we did put a lot of pressure on him going into the season, but he had such a good preseason, and he just couldn't carry it into the into the Championship campaign. So yeah, it is unfortunate, but I think whether it's a permanent or a loan, I do think he would benefit from a move away from Leeds United to help gain his confidence. And finally, speaking of strikers, it appears that Leeds United, according to TalkSport, are the front runners to sign Newcastle United striker Callum Wilson. Now, Callum Wilson will become a free agent after the final game of the season in the Premier League this weekend coming. Obviously, they face Everton at home, I believe, at St James's Park, and then he becomes a free agent. Now, I have said this on previous videos. I think certain players who are out of contract and free agents and such are just going to get linked to newly promoted clubs like us, Burnley, and whoever wins the playoff final. I've seen a lot of people say they would like Callum Wilson. People say they wouldn't like him. I would be okay with it, but not as our main striker. Not as our main striker. We would have to bring in another number 9 for me. If we were to get Callum Wilson, his injury record is shocking. It's really bad. Is he over 30? He might demand a fair, decent wage, which I don't think he would be worth. Again, if we were to get a marquee number 9 and then get Callum Wilson as well, I wouldn't mind it. It's Premier League experience in the background to come in and, help. If we get a brand new centre forward and they get injured or suspended, you've got a Callum Wilson there to come in and do a job at this level. Something tells me that I just don't think we'll get Callum Wilson. And to be honest, whether we get him or not, I said this when I was on about Thomas Souček on a previous video, and the names that we're getting linked with are players with a lot of Premier League experience and that are coming to the end of their contracts. I get that we're going to try and attack the Premier League in a different way in terms of recruitment this summer, and we will need Premier League experience to come in and help steer the ship at certain moments in this upcoming season. But I do still think we need to get some quality in as well. I'm not saying these players that we're linked with are bad players, because they're not. But the names that we're getting linked with, Beto, Kufal, Thomas Souček, Callum Wilson. I've seen Aaron Ramsdale as a goalkeeper, which I really don't want, by the way. But, there's a pattern here in terms of the names that we're getting linked with. And part of me does like it and rate it that we're going about it a different way. But we can still go out and find these hidden gems, if we can. And I really hope that we do that. So like I said, guys, let me know in the comment section down below if you would be happy with Callum Wilson. And I would like to know your thoughts on the Manor Soloman situation as well, and where do you think Mateo Joseph's future lies? If you've enjoyed the content, make sure you're liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.